Hi, my name is Linda Cirulli-Burton, and welcome to this channel named Above the Battleground ACIM. Recently, a friend and I were talking about subjects that, upon closer review, could really contribute to feelings of separation, division, and maybe even analysis of degrees of specialness. And it was fun because we both reached the same conclusion. And the conclusion was that really reaching the divine within us could be far simpler. Above the Battleground is based on the teachings of a spiritual self-study path known as A Course in Miracles. I've been a student of A Course in Miracles for many years and recently made the decision to create videos so that I could share lessons and insights so they would go deeper within me and hopefully be of some benefit to you. So what we were talking about was energy, frequency, and consciousness. And I think that we concluded as students of A Course in Miracles that it really was simpler. So in A Course in Miracles, if you are in the wrong mind, the ego mind, the dark mind, well, we're in low consciousness. We're in low energy. We're in low frequency. If instead we chose to be in the right mind, the mind of spirit, the mind of light, well, when we did that, we were operating with high consciousness, high energy, high frequency. So voila, much easier to cope with. And I have to laugh because Jesus does chastise us in A Course in Miracles, gently, of course, in that he says complexity is of the ego. We're the ones who complicate things and analyze things and do all those things. But his course is far simpler. And he also says, please, don't tell me you can't learn this course. Look at the learning that you have conducted all of your lives. And don't tell me that you can't learn this course. So I thought I would share a couple paragraphs from lesson 184 that really make me smile out loud because Jesus nails us. In lesson 184, it's called The Name of God is My Inheritance. And this is what he says. All I could think of was slicing and dicing. That's what we're doing. You live by symbols. You have made up names for everything you see. Each one becomes a separate entity, identified by its own name. By this, you carve it out of unity. By this, you designate its special attributes and set it off from other things by emphasizing space around surrounding it. This space you lay between all things to which you give a different name. All happenings in terms of place and time. All bodies which are greeted by a name. This space you see is setting off all things from one another, is the means by which the world's perception is achieved. You see something where nothing is, and see as well nothing where there is unity, a space between all things and you. Thus do you think that you have given life in separation. By this split, you think you are established as a unity which functions with an independent will. So I am enamored by this description because I do feel that it really is about the slicing and dicing of the reality of life in these bodies. And what I really love is that A Course in Miracles is all about the mind training that shows us that we never left our Father, that the sonship is one. And what Jesus does invites us to turn our lives into classrooms where the Holy Spirit, where Jesus can help us find our way back to a Father, to a God that we never left. I would also like to reference question 1093 in the Q&A published by the Foundation for A Course in Miracles. And here the question is asked, and I think rather plaintively, does anything that we do that shows our differences make us a tool of the ego? And I can understand that particular question because I think this is something that a lot of students on a spiritual path where we want to seek out a mind that looks at the oneness, at the unity of all of us, that if we do notice through our body's eyes that someone is talented this way and someone is not so talented, if something that we're looking at is beautiful and something else would appear to be ugly, if somebody appears to be extremely smart in a particular way and someone else not very intelligent, what does this mean? If we see all of these differences, do we deny that this is what we see? And I really love the idea, the concept, if you will, of being able to live in this world, to be able to live our lives and to go beyond the alleged differences that we see with our senses. And when we go beyond this, we do see the sameness, the shared identity of the Son of God, in that we, all of us, have the decision maker. All of us are functioning with a wrong mind and a right mind, with ego and spirit, and we're always making decisions. So as we perceive these alleged differences, to keep in mind that they're not important, that in the words of A Course, they are illusory. And if our noticing of the differences is struck with judgment calls of inferiority or superiority, then the point of it is that those are our projections. And that is the kind of stuff that needs to be pulled in, because in an effort to be innocent of the guilt that we experience as having left the Father and gone off to be the independent sons. The point of it is that as I shift or attempt to shift my stuff on you and I pull it in with the grace of the Holy Spirit or Jesus to look at that and to release it. Will my eyes see differences? Oh, yes. Will I hear the differences? Oh, yes. What do I do with the differences? Do I go beyond those to the shared identity that I have with my brothers and sisters? Or do I slice and dice with judgment calls? So I have to say that life is a continual learning experience in these classrooms. And for all of us to choose to be guided by the Holy Spirit or by Jesus or whatever label you put on unconditional love. For us to make that decision that this will be our classroom, well, I can't imagine any greater decision that you and I could make while we believe that we are in these bodies. So, that world of ego is all sliced and diced. But that world of spirit is such a beautiful world. I'd rather be there. I think you would too. So thank you for being with me, and I look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Thank you.